What is up, everyone? This is Review It. I'm James, and man, it's been a while. How long has it been, Bryant?
A little too long, James. A little bit too long. We kind of fell off our rocker on our podcast schedule.
Yeah. We sound a little bit out of the zone. Not just because it's been so long, but because it is 12:19 a.m. in the morning on a, what is it, Wednesday? It is a Wednesday
Technically,
night
it's
slash
Thursday morning.
Technically, it's Thursday morning, but, whatever. That's called dedication right there, folks.
Because we're dedicated
Anyway,
to you, our fans.
Right. Except for the last couple weeks, because there hasn't been much going on. But anyway, let's just forget about that for a second. So, let's explain what's happened. So, it's not that we lost interest or that we decided not to do it. There's just been a lot of school work, just a lot of, things that kind of made it hard to come and sit in here and record. However, we did have an episode 3.
We actually did it. I mean, it's not like we
it was
like
done.
we just gave up. I had it. We had that hour and 30-minute long podcast filmed. We were just editing it, and then too long, so we had to cut it off.
And if you're watching this now, you'll know that this video is our official E3 predictions for 2016. That is the topic that we did a few weeks ago. However, a lot of those, miraculously, a lot of them actually came true before E3, which makes no sense. Let me just say that right now.
But hey, at least we were correct.
Yeah, we were correct on a lot of them. So we figured if we put the thing up late, which, like in the last week, it would have been really irrelevant because a lot of those things would have already been revealed and it just wouldn't have worked. So we decided we're going to redo it. Granted, this one will not be an hour and a half, I hope. So why don't we just jump right into it? However, we do got to get the weekly recap out of the way first. So, Bryant, tell me what's been going on your past week.
I came back to work so I could get my paycheck, get that money in, and also been playing a lot of my PlayStation 3.
That dinosaur?
It's not a dinosaur, it's the slim version, so it's the newer dinosaur.
Right.
It's the Stegosaurus of all the Dino Kingdom.
It's like a hipster dinosaur.
Yeah. With DualShock 3 controllers instead of 4s.
Oh my god. DualShock is astronomically better than the DualShock 3. Anything else?
A DualShock is better than a DualShock 3.
No, didn't I say a DualShock 4?
No, you said a DualShock. Going all the way back to 1990-something when they made the PlayStation 1.
Right, the one without analog sticks. Yeah.
Well, they redid it
Forgive
with the
me,
one with the
1221.
analog sticks, so,
Whatever. All right. Anything else?
I'm glad
Anything else
the
you got going
Sony conversation got stuck into the weekly recap.
on? Yeah. We're getting Sony out of the way early.
But
Bryant, we did see a movie though. Like not the one we saw in theaters yesterday, but we finally watched a movie that we talked about in our first 2 episodes.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it once. Hateful Eight.
Oh, we saw the Hateful Eight finally.
Finally watched it. Had some time. Finally sat down for 3 hours and watched it. What'd you think of it, man?
I was not disappointed in the least. I give it Tarantino's... I'm going to give it Tarantino's number 2.
Really?
I'll give it...
You think it's better than Django?
I'll give it a number 2 slot.
Really?
We'll give it the number 2 slot.
I would go number 3 behind Pulp and Django.
Well, Pulp's always going to be number 1. I mean, you can't really top Pulp.
Yeah, Pulp will always be number 1. Django would be number 2.
Django
and
is
Hateful Eight's right behind it.
Number 3 for me.
Really?
Speaking of...
That's awesome.
But also, speaking of movies, we're a little late on the old Captain America train, but saw Civil War last night. Or technically 2 days ago, since it's 12:23 in the morning.
Whatever. Who cares about technicalities? Good movie. Great movie, actually. Not as good as Winter Soldier, in my opinion, but it's right up there with it, I think. Close to it. You feel a little differently, though?
It was an okay movie. I say it's a good movie. Like, you can sit down and watch it, but it just wasn't really the best movie. But, again, it's a good movie. If you want to go see it and you're interested in Marvel movies, definitely go see it. It's worth going to. At least.
It's awesome.
I just wouldn't say it's
really,
the best
really,
Marvel movie in the world.
Right. I thought it was a great movie, but as I said, Winter Soldier's better and Guardians is better, but whatever. All right, anything else you got?
No, I say we should just jump on into our E3 predictions.
Well, before we do that, I do want to say I've been playing Doom and Uncharted 4. And good lord.
You've been playing or
If
you've beaten both of them already?
I have beaten both of them and I've almost platinumed Uncharted 4 and I'm just under halfway of platinuming Doom. As I said, good lord, if any of you are, I mean, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, I have some money to spend on video games, but I don't know what to get, you need both of these games. They're freaking wonderful. Uncharted 4, hands down, greatest game I've ever played. I'm saying that right now. Man, it is so good. So good. You haven't really played the other three, but you're enjoying 4 right now, right?
I have played the first one. However, I've watched
Parts
all
of
of them with you. I've been in the room while
Yeah.
you've been playing, watching. 4, extremely beautiful, extremely
Oh,
good
yeah.
so far. I enjoy it, and plus, I'm actually getting to play this one a little bit. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Because I've already beaten it twice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Doom is fantastic. Good. Oh my gosh, man, it's good. It's so good. So much fun. So stupid, but really, really, really fun at the same time. So I definitely recommend both of those. If you have a PS4, definitely go with Uncharted 4 over Doom. But if you don't have a PS4, definitely go with Doom. Great games, both of them. Okay, E3.
E3.
Shall we start with? Yeah. E3. It is like, big time. All the crazy predictions come out here. Although this year it seems like we're getting more before E3 rather than at E3. But, that kind of a dumb thing.
It is
but
kind
whatever.
of dumb that we've been getting so much news about E3 and all the stuff that's already being released, but it's not E3. It's just an average
Yeah, and it seems
Thursday night.
It seems like anything that isn't getting revealed is just getting leaked out and ruined, So we are going to try and make some predictions based on what hasn't been revealed. We want to kind of stick to things that we don't know will happen, or things that aren't super obvious. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with these because some of them are a bit outlandish. Some of them are a bit, more serious. But I think we should go ahead and start with Bethesda, don't you think?
Yeah, I
All
mean, yeah, I agree. I think we should start with Bethesda and work our way through all the stuff. But I want to say kudos to us for getting so many predictions right over the week,
Yeah,
or over
we
the
don't really
past
have
3 weeks.
we don't really have any way to prove it because we never put the original cut up. But a lot of our stuff was legit. I guarantee it. Like Battlefield 1 was definitely it was
Spot
one of
on.
mine actually. Yeah, it was spot on. I said it would be World War 1, it'd be out in November or I think October. No, I said October. Call of Duty, I think one of us called that it would be space.
Futuristic space battle.
I feel like one of us called that. But yeah, there were a lot of other ones that got revealed already. So anyway, Bethesda, Bryant, what do you think we're going to get out of Bethesda's E3 this year?
I think
Just give me a couple things. No, no like amount that you have to give. There's no set amount. Just what do you think we're going to see?
they will possibly talk about things. Probably, I mean, I guess they'd probably talk about the DLC that's coming out for Fallout 4. And what's
Which actually just dropped tonight.
yeah.
Far Harbor came out tonight.
And I mean, they may, acknowledge, hey, you guys should go get our new DLC and whatnot. But for me personally, and kind of what I want to see and kind of what I'm predicting, I'm kind of expecting and kind of hoping for a new Elder Scrolls game. Maybe kind of closer to
Really?
Skyrim again, on the
Really?
more, more on that side. I know they came out with Elder Scrolls Online, and that's got some mixed reviews from people, but I think it's kind of a kind of hopeful and also a normal kind of prediction. I think that Bethesda might come out and say something. Then again, they might drop some new random logo and game on us, but I'm kind of hoping for an
Right.
Elder Scrolls game, and I think Bethesda is going to talk about the stuff that they've been doing with Fallout and other things, concept art and whatever. Bethesda.
Yeah. I don't agree at all about Elder Scrolls. I don't think I think you got another like 3 years before that happens. I do think there will be talks of Fallout DLC, probably reveal the next big one. Since it's a month away, they'll have time for people to get into Far Harbor and play a lot of it. So they'll show up at that conference ready to kind of show off the next big thing. I think Machine Games, they are the people who made Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is probably one of my favorite games of 2014. I think that they are going to show up and have a sequel ready. Because I kind of forgot about this news leak, but recently I've been playing The New Order again and absolutely love it. Fantastic game. But the voice actor for one of the characters in the game was in an interview, I think in like early 2015, and she said that she was doing a sequel to a game that she's been in the past. But it turns out that The New Order was the only game she's ever been in. So a lot of people have taken that to believe that that there is a sequel in development for The New Order. So I definitely think they're going to show up and have a teaser for it, maybe with a 2017 release or 2018. I hope. God, I hope, because New Order's fantastic. Really, really, really good game. Other than that, I think kind of a crazy one, but one I would really like to see is that Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, which was kind of like a spinoff after 3, I would love to see them come out and say, okay, we're going to take all the mechanics from Fallout 4 and we're going to make this spinoff, and it comes out next year or something. I would love to see that again.
Yeah,
because I like New Vegas more than 3 personally.
and I mean, I'm on the flip side. I like 3 better than New Vegas, but I mean, I don't really see Bethesda coming out with some bombshell. They may come out with something interesting and make people really think about it, but I don't think there's going to be much of a really just, oh my gosh, some kind of announcement from Bethesda. I think it's going to be pretty, just pretty calm down, not as outlandish as Bethesda can be.
Right. So you think it's going to be mostly like Dishonored 2 and Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 4 DLC? Nothing crazy, basically?
They may say that they're in development of something and show some concept art or some video or something like that, but, just to keep the buzz going. But other than that, I don't really see Bethesda doing much.
Right. Well, you have anything else to say about Bethesda, or you want to move on to EA?
I say just go ahead and move on to EA, because EA has, I've been thinking about EA a lot, and there's some potential that I think could be quite interesting.
Yeah, we've been talking about these off camera, or off microphone, whatever. Anyway, EA is doing something a little differently this year, and they've actually kind of inspired a lot of other game development companies to go along with them. EA is not actually going to be at E3.
What?
Now, why are we talking about them? Yeah. Why are we talking about them in our E3 predictions video? Well, one, because we can. Secondly, because it's going to be taking place right across the street at the same time. So why not?
Because, EA is just it's, you guys can go over there and do your own thing.
We're just going to be rebels and hang out over here. EA. Now, this is tricky, because if it was 2 years ago, I would say, sports, mobile,
and it's not SSX
shooter.
Tricky from EA Big.
Right. If it was a couple years ago, I would say they're going to come out and do sports, mobile, and first-person shooters. But this is not the EA that dropped Mass Effect 3's terrible ending on us. This EA is doing a little differently. It seems like they're actually kind of listening to what fans want now. And an example of that would be Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which should not exist. I don't think that game is going to flop major. One, because after playing the beta.
I was going to say, you played the beta of the game.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I thought it sucked, to be completely honest. But the first game did not sell well at all. It was an okay game with a small following of people who really enjoyed it, but EA is still doing a sequel for it, which blows my mind. And then there's also Unravel, which came out earlier this year, another game that EA published that a lot of people really didn't get into, I don't think. But it just seems like EA is doing something that fans want, So it's hard to predict what they will actually do. So I can't really say there's going to be any huge reveals, because they already revealed Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2. I mean, it really can't go anywhere else. I do think that we'll see Mass Effect Andromeda which I'm super excited for. I think it's going to get some gameplay footage and probably dated for, like spring 2017. Battlefield 1 will probably get a stage demo, of course. I would imagine they would have to do that. Same for Titanfall 2. Demo. Don't know if it'll be multiplayer or single player. They may show off single player because the first one didn't have a single player mode. So maybe they'll want to show off the single player for Titanfall 2 and let Battlefield have the multiplayer demo, That's it for like real predictions. I do have some crazy ones, but I want you to go ahead and give your thoughts.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is my real prediction, but it's also again kind of a hopeful one because I love the series that much, and I really, really, really want NCAA 17 because the lawsuits are starting to get settled down, and EA could possibly bring out a very successful and very cash grab game because everyone's going to want that new NCAA game. We haven't had one since 2013. It's time for another NCAA game. Make it great. I've been playing a lot of Madden 16, and the graphics on that are just really good. And to think of a college campus and like college stadium full of people and just college atmosphere and stuff like that, I really, really want NCAA 17. Now, also, I have been playing my PS3, as I said, and I went through a box of old PS3 games and pulled out a little gem called Def Jam Icon. And
yes. Now, see, I have never seen this series before, but I saw you play Icon the other night. It looked hilarious, like really funny, and you tell me that this one isn't actually the one that everybody likes.
Def Jam Fight for New York is probably one of the greatest PS2 games, or like just in that era of the PS2 and the Xbox, because it was on both, but it was probably the best, one of the best games to ever hit that kind of market at the time. And for those of you who don't know, Def Jam is it's a fighting game.
It's a fighter.
But it has all your favorite rappers that are fighting each other. You got like Ludacris, Lil Jon, DMX was in one of them. Just a whole bunch of fun. I mean, the Fight for New York, Vendetta was the first one, and Vendetta had a kind of story. It was kind of just a new thing they were trying out. New York had a super dark, super gritty story that actually like was really emotional. And then Icon is just kind of you go out, punch that guy. Oh, go to the next appointment. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as a kind of funny thing, I kind of want to see a new Def Jam game dropped at E3. I think it would be really interesting just to have a new Def Jam game for the new console, have the really kind of up-to-date roster of the Fetty Waps and the Drakes fighting each other.
Yes, please.
Dude, I think that would be so much fun, and I think, the old fans like me of the series could go back and play a new Def Jam game. That would be awesome.
They need to have like female fighters in there too,
well,
like Nicki Minaj. Even call her a good or a bad hip hop artist. I don't care. I want to have her in there. I want Iggy Azalea in there. I want to see all of these people.
Make Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj fight.
Oh my God, yes!
Because
that should actually be part of the story.
In Fight for New York, you could fight.
Be?
You could fight as the female characters, and you could also play as the female characters in the story. And also, they were part of the story. You had like Lil Kim, Missy Elliott, I think, was in it and stuff like that. And you had like all these fun characters and whatnot. And I think it's super outlandish to kind of say that that's possibly even on the radar for E3 and EA releasing that, but it's just a fun prediction. And I'm like I said, my actual prediction and my serious prediction is going to be NCAA 17.
Yeah,
because if they put out an NCAA game, that's money in the pocket automatically.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be really excited for that. I mean, Madden sells huge every year, but there in the South where we are, there's a lot of college football fans, like a lot. And, it seems as if every time I hear somebody talk about Madden, there's always someone in that group who's like, yeah, but I wish NCAA would come out again,
And that's kind of me in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm not a big fan of sports games in general, except for WWE games. Those are fun. But I mean, I would like to see it come back simply because I'm not much of a pro football fan. So I would like to have that option to play as college teams if, if I ever have that bug, you know?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I am more of a college football person than an actual, professional NFL football watcher. I
Yeah.
like this. I like when the playoffs start going on. I like kind of the off season. It's something I can kind of sit down and watch. But the college football has such a different atmosphere. I think for me personally, I like watching how people react. Not only players and fans, but like coaches. It's just such a different atmosphere. You have these kids who come fresh out of high school. They're like ready just to go out there and play and have fun and actually, try to get a future. But it's just a completely different atmosphere to me. And even the NCAA games and the Madden games, it's to me it's completely different playing both of them. They run off different systems.
Yeah. Um, okay. So I do have two kind of out there ones that I want to get through, and then we'll move on to Ubisoft. Okay. I know this won't happen, but man, I would freak out. Like this, I would be, that video of the little kid who opens his present on Christmas and it's the
Nintendo
N64?
64.
Yeah, that I would be that little kid if EA comes out there, they have their press conference, whatever, and then just as they walk off the stage, there's a Dead Space 4 teaser. I
Oh.
would lose it. I would freaking lose it. Like that would be the E3 moment to me. Forget God of War 4, forget anything like Watch Dogs 2. I don't care about any of that. If E3 week comes and goes, and at the end of it, I know that there's a Dead Space 4 coming. Man, no, nothing tops that. Personally, nothing tops that. But other than that, what would be really awesome to see EA reveal would be, and I know that they won't do this because apparently the boss of EA is completely against remasters. He thinks, in his own words, he believes that when you do a remaster, you've basically run up out of ideas. But I still just have this feeling like he's going to do it. They're going to go back on what they say because companies do that most of the time. I would love to see a remastered collection of Dead Space or Mass Effect. I'm not a big fan of remasters. I think that they're kind of dumb when it's one game, right? But if it's a collection, I don't see a problem with it, honestly. If you're getting 3 or 4 or even 5 games for full price and they're all up-resed, they run at a better frame rate, they have, new features in them, then no, there's no problem with it. However, if it's one game, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, DMC, what else is there that got remastered that really didn't need to? Whatever. Things like that where it's one game, just up-resed, and it's full price, that pisses me off personally. So,
And you talk about remasters and whatnot. I love my God of War saga that gave me 5 God of War games, and also the Metal Gear saga, the HD collection. I love those two specific remasters. I know you talk about the collections of the remasters and everything, and those are the two that come to mind. But I mean,
but
I
that's
enjoy
different.
those.
But no, that's different though because that was on PS3. What I'm saying is,
But have
like
a
when they were
super
on
up-res
PS3,
version.
yeah, when they were on PS3, they were fine because they were games that were taken from non high definition and put into high definition, and they added trophy support. They were collections. No, from PS2 to PS3, that's fine. Those were 100%. I loved those personally. It's going from PS3 to PS4. So in basically what I'm saying is DMC, the reboot of Devil May Cry. It came out on PS3, okay? And then it gets up-resed for PS4 for full price, sold again. That's a problem to me. Because it's not really a remaster. It's just, we bumped the frame rate up and we made the game, the resolution a bit better. It just makes no sense to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree.
But the HD collections that were on the PS3 coming from PS2, nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. I thought those were great. I loved them. I loved my God of War saga. But God of War 3 getting remastered on PS4,
Yeah, and
there's
then
no
getting
need, there
sold
was
for
no need for that.
$60 was, that's kind of underhanded in a way. Um,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've already paid full price for the thing. Why spend all that money again on the same one when you could simply just, in my case, put God of War 3 back in the PS3 and play it all over again? Sure, the
Right.
graphics aren't, like, super crisp, but it's the same exact game. I mean,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to pay
Yeah.
$60 for a game you spent $60 on already.
Yeah. I'd like to see remastered collections of Dead Space and Mass Effect. I think that they deserve it. Those are good enough series that they do deserve it. Whether EA will do it, I mean, it's up in the air. I don't really think they will, but I'd love to see it, you know? Especially if they announce a Dead Space 4, or if Andromeda is a big thing in their conference. It'd be great if they were like, okay, Andromeda comes out March 2017, but by the way, this fall you can get Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 all up-resed, 60 frames, whatever, dropping on PS4 and Xbox One for $60. Okay, that's great. That's perfect. I love it, you know?
And that's a
Give me a
complete, I
reason to
mean,
go
that's
back
a
and want to play
completely
them.
different thing, too. You're not getting one game, you're getting $60 for the price of all those games put together. And it's
Yeah, yeah, that's
up-resed.
that's another thing. Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, yeah, I can understand if they're going to do that way, but just don't do it the other way, where you pay $60 for a game that you've already paid for.
Yeah, that's like 5 years old. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, okay, let's move on to Ubisoft. Um, how you feeling about them?
Um, I really don't know, and I really don't necessarily care. I've never really been a Ubisoft person, other than, you
Really?
know, I always love the Tom Clancy games. Ubisoft kind of helps out with those. Um, so I guess with my prediction, I know that they just produced Siege, and they'll
Division.
probably and the Division also. They'll probably drop DLC for both the Division and Siege probably, or at least talk about them and kind of talk about development for things for the future and the current stuff. But I would love to see, and this is a dumb prediction because they've already released a Rainbow Six game in the past year, but I don't want a multiplayer based Rainbow Six game. I want another Rainbow Six game where it's basically the traditional Rainbow Six where you're going through as yourself. You're not playing multiplayer maps with people. You're just doing a story mode. There's a multiplayer, sure, but I was kind of disappointed with Siege in that it was just a multiplayer game. And
So basically, you want what Rainbow Six Siege was originally supposed to be, which was
yes,
Rainbow Six Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah, I want that
Yeah.
instead of what we got. But like I said, it's a dumb prediction. But again, I don't really necessarily care about the Ubisoft of
Yeah.
E3. I've never really been a Ubisoft fan all that much. I don't really like Assassin's Creed that much. Um, and I believe, aren't they taking a break from Assassin's Creed at the moment? Aren't they doing it
Yes.
for
Thank
one
God.
every 2 years? I believe.
That's not permanent. They're skipping this year. That's it. And they're gonna, which is really amazing because the movie comes out in December. You
Yeah,
would
you
think
would
that they'd
think,
have a game to capitalize on
but
that, but no, they are taking this year off. Thank God. Give that series some room to breathe. Like, change that thing. Change it. Change it all the way. Like,
do
take another year off if you need to. Like, if we don't get one till 2019, or I'm sorry, 2018 or 2019, I'd be perfectly happy with it. That's great because I do like that series to an extent, and I feel like it really deserves some time to breathe and become something better, you know?
do you think that they might be postponing the game since the movie is coming out and possibly releasing a movie game? No,
No,
no, not
absolutely
at
not.
all.
No, 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 because the movie, as they've said, the movie is not retelling any stories. It's not. It's actually, it fits in the timeline with the games. It's just another. It's like a side story that's happening as the games are happening. So it's not really. It just adds to the timeline. They don't need to make a game for that too.
Yeah, I
So
agree. And
I
again, I was just
yeah,
throwing that
I
out
don't
there
think they
because I
will.
didn't really have much of a prediction for Ubisoft.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big Ubisoft guy. They have a few properties that I'm interested in, so I do pay attention to those. I really want to hear more about the new South Park. That because that to me was one of the biggest surprises from last year, because Matt Stone and Trey Parker, after Stick of Truth came out, which was my favorite game of 2014, when that game came out, they both kind of agreed. They said, oh yeah, we're done. We don't think we want to do one again. And then last year they come out and they're like, yeah, well, now we know how to make a good game, so we're going to make a better one, you know? So I really hope we get a release date for that and something concrete, and I hope this game doesn't take as long to come out as the first one did, which took way too long. Other than that, I don't care much for Ghost Recon Wildlands, but it looks cool, and I think that we will get maybe another demo for it, and maybe there will be some sort of release date or release window for it. The obvious prediction would definitely be Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, but now that you mentioned Ghost Recon, I actually do enjoy the Ghost Recon series, and I actually completely forgot that they were working on that title. So, maybe something good from Ghost Recon. Maybe that's something that I can get and fill that Rainbow Six void.
I mean, the trailer from last year looked cool, but I don't know, I'm not much of a fan of Ghost Recon, so I don't know. And I heard Advanced Soldier
wasn't that great. I did play it, but it wasn't all that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the games kind of going for a futuristic thing, and
yeah, it's
in the podcast that we had recorded earlier a couple weeks ago, we talked about all the future games. That's why we kind of went back to either I said World War II for either Battlefield or Call of Duty, and you said World War One, and you were correct about the World War One with Battlefield 1 being dropped. But
yeah,
I kind of like to see something Clancy-wise going back to their roots or something like that. We've gone through this loophole of going back and forth through the futuristic thing and just kept going to more futuristic, and I kind of want to see a company at least go back and just make a really good kind of current day kind of thing. But,
like a modern
not
setting.
a modern warfare, but just a modern game.
Right,
about warfare.
Gotcha. Right.
And also, what do you think about Battlefield 1? If you pre-order, you get it's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty.
Yeah,
if you pre-order, you get a copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the fourth game of Call of Duty, remastered.
I think it is a cheap move to get pre-orders up, because you know that you can't buy that remaster outside of the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare. There's no way to get it outside of that. Like, that right there is Activision saying, we do not have any hope for this game because we know none of you want it. But we will stick something in here that we know you want, and that is a remaster of Modern Warfare, which is the game that started this all. That is exactly what it is, and anybody who... And I say this now, but I'll probably end up buying that Legacy Edition because I do want to play Infinite Warfare. I don't think that trailer was as bad as a lot of people said it was. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm tired of the futuristic thing. I really am. But I don't know. Something about it looks fun, and I usually skip every other year. I skipped Black Ops 3, but I played Advanced Warfare, so I guess this year it's kind of fallen on me that I guess I now have to get Call of Duty this year. And even though I don't support that remaster of Modern Warfare, I'll still probably get it and still probably play it because I really enjoyed Modern Warfare. But at the same time, I can acknowledge that it is a really cheap marketing ploy to sell that game because Activision probably doesn't feel like there is anything in that game that's worth, getting people's attention. So they're pretty much just like, well, we have a crappy game. We know you're all going to hate it, but at least we'll give you something that you like. But you have to pay $20 extra for it.
Yeah.
Because if they put that remaster out by itself, no one will buy Infinite Warfare.
They will buy
will buy it.
The old new game. Or the new old
That's
game.
It. Yeah, no one will buy Infinite Warfare. If Modern Warfare is out on its own, no one would buy Infinite Warfare. I guarantee that.
And
No one would
for
do
me
it.
personally, if I want to play the first Modern Warfare, I'll just reach in the box and put it in my PS3. I don't really necessarily, you
Well,
know, yeah, it would look a lot better on the PS4 and Xbox One, but you shouldn't have to slap that on the current gen Call of Duty.
yeah, but you did try to play it last night and you couldn't find a
Well, that's
multiplayer game.
multiplayer. I'm talking about for the story and
Yeah, but
whatnot.
that's the thing that. But that's all. That's the
Yeah, and
thing. A lot of people are
I
going to
know
go
they're
back to
bringing
is the
all the
multiplayer.
multiplayer stuff and whatnot, but you know,
I am sure it's like less than 5% actually want to get Modern Warfare Remastered so that they can play the story again. I do not
and
think
that also makes
even
me
for 1
wonder
second that
if they're
it's
remastering the game, are you going to be able to build classes because you weren't able to do that in Modern Warfare? You had a set custom class that you couldn't like. So
really
yeah,
because I didn't play Modern Warfare multiplayer. I didn't start Call of Duty multiplayer till MW2, so I really don't know anything about Modern Warfare multiplayer. I love the story mode. I thought it was fantastic story mode,
it's a
but I
great
never played
story. Yeah,
multiplayer.
but,
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But I didn't know. Is there was no create a class in
I don't
Modern
think
Warfare
so.
One?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think there was.
Well,
But
we'll have to check when we
speaking
get
of
back on.
multiplayer, shout out to the 580 people still playing World at War for some reason.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
got
We
on
tried
last
that,
night
or
because
he tried that last night.
again, I'm playing my PS3 a little bit more now again, even though I have an Xbox One. But I got curious and I wanted to see what the multiplayer was like, and I know last time I got on Modern Warfare, it was not. There were people flying, there were people shooting rockets, machine guns, and it was just hackers everywhere. Even when I got on World at War last night, yeah, there were a couple of people hacking, and it was a little bit less than I'm usually used to if I ever do jump back on World at War. But still, 580 people still playing World at War. I find that really
Yeah, yeah,
amusing.
and pretty much all the lobbies you ran were hacked
Yeah,
too.
and
So
it's pretty much like me. I'm going to be one of those 580 still probably playing Ghost in Advanced Warfare in about 10 years. So I'm going to be one of those people.
okay, okay. Let's get back to Ubisoft. We just jumped to Activision. Activision's not even going to be there.
Yeah, but
So they'll show up at Sony's conference. And there will be a demo for Infinite Warfare because God knows they're going to have to try and sell that game somehow. But okay, back to Ubisoft. Watch Dogs 2. Do you think it's going to be there?
um uh yeah, I guess so. Cuz it's going to be there, I guess.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna be
Though
there. And it's coming out. It's coming out this fall. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It is coming out. If it's not coming out this fall, it is coming out very early 2017. I guarantee you that. I would bet whatever I could bet on that.
you should put in your in honor if they do announce it, you should put in your copy of Watch Dogs in your Xbox One games.
Okay, you know what? If Watch Dogs 2 does not get an no. It needs to be something against me because I don't want to play Watch
I
Dogs.
know that's what I'm saying.
I
If you
hated
announce
that
Watch
game.
Dogs 2, you need to put Watch Dogs in and have to play it again.
Why? Because I'm predicting that it will be there. So if I'm right, I shouldn't have to play. Okay, if Watch Dogs 2 is not announced at E3, or okay, you know what? Let me raise the stakes a bit. If Watch Dogs 2 is announced or not announced, and I'm trying to think of how to word this properly. My prediction is that Watch Dogs 2 is announced and it is coming out late 2016 or very early 2017. So before April of 2017. If it is announced or if it's not announced or if it's said, oh, it's coming out fall 2017. If that happens, or summer 2017 or whatever, I will play Watch Dogs 1. If I'm wrong, I will play Watch Dogs 1. And we will record parts of me playing it so that I have proof that I sat down and played it. Guarantee it. I will reinstall it on my Xbox and I will play it. I will beat it.
Oh.
And you will be the
And I'll have
witness.
to watch.
There you go. There you go. If Watch Dogs 2 is not announced for a late 2016 or early 2017 release, I will play Watch Dogs 1.
Ew.
That's how confident I am that game's coming out in the next 12 months. Easily.